Hi, this episode we're reviewing the BFL region on Lake Ouachita and going over some other bits of personal news in this new episode of Co-Angler's Corner. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frugal Muse Studios for this episode of Co-Angler's Corner, brought to you by Olson Home Theater and Russell Olson. Today on the show, as I mentioned, we are going to be reviewing the BFL Regional on Lake Ouachita, and I got some news on the personal side that I think is pretty cool. So starting off, made the trip down to the BFL Regional. It was quite the drive. It was about a 12-hour drive. Actually, a little more than that with stops and everything. But got down there at the right time. Got settled in. Those of you that are friends with me on Facebook got to see the Verbo I stayed in. Pretty nice little Verbo. A little wood cabin. Quite enjoyable. Had both a grill and a fire pit, which is really nice. So got there, typical pre-tournament meeting. It was virtual, just like it had been last couple seasons now. And then day one. First of all, that place. Now I know they had a Forest Hill Wood Cup a handful of years back on that place, but that lake is not what you think of for a typical down south lake. I mean, down south you're thinking 8, 9, 10 pounders, fives on the regular, and that place, not the case. Okay, I first day one, I got actually caught spotted bass for the first time ever. I caught 3 of those on a drop shot rig. So I caught them all on Aaron's Morning Dawn, which that's a great color anywhere. Catching them on the drop shot, that's one of the things I actually did expect. My other part of my plan, which did not pan out at all, was to, when you start seeing bait jumping like crazy, catch them on a walking bait or even a frog, depending on where the type of cover and structure, everything that that spot had to offer. Yeah, but that plan, there were a couple times throughout the 2 days that I was able to see some bait like I wanted. Sure enough, I throw out there, couldn't get bit. The only thing I could have, thinking back, the only thing I could have done different on that is I did have another walking bait that was a little smaller in profile, a little thinner. So next time, that's a lesson learned. Be ready to change. Don't get stuck on what you have tied on. That probably could have cost me. Like I said, day one I did end up with a couple squeakers and a decent spotted bass. That day I ended up I went through that day. Unfortunately, day 2 didn't catch any keepers, caught some dinks, retied drop shot more than I ever have in more in that tournament that weekend than I have in any other season ever. It was crazy. Just a lot of day 2 we fished a lot more laydowns. Here. But brush piles, excuse me, it took me a minute to think of that. Brush piles, that type of thing, fished a little more than we did weed edges, like I did on day 1. Honestly, other than the one little thing I mentioned, I really don't know what I could have done different. Especially day 2, I threw the kitchen sink at them. Drop shot, spinnerbait, top water, even threw a jerk bait for a little bit, if I remember. I just couldn't get a keeper bite to save my life. So I was talking about how that place is not your typical down south lake. Put it to you this way, I looked at the results on MajorLeagueFishing.com afterwards. 8 to 9 pounds a day average would have won it on the co-angler side. It was a little bit more than that on the boater side. I don't remember right off, but the weights were not good. They were just not good. It's like you're like boggled. You're like, what is going on here? Someone did catch a 6-pounder. The winning boater, I think it was day 2, caught a 6-pounder, and I think he got big bass for the tournament. But everything you caught was either dink or just barely a squeaker. Just could not get the weight. Really, I mean, and honestly, just other than the one, like I said, the one little thing I thought of before making this video, I don't know what else I could have done different, especially as a co-angler. Because, as a co-angler, unless you can see the brush pile in the water, which there's a few of them I could, the water, like actually just about like everywhere else I've fished this season, even up here, the water was really low. Matter of fact, tournament director was warning guys about low water and watching for these brush piles. So it was quite interesting. You could, especially when you could see them in the water. Other than that, it's hard for a co-angler to know where those are at, and unless you either have your own boat and do this, which, possible controversial opinion. If you have a boat, you should be doing it as a boater. Feel free to comment below on your thoughts on that. But like I said, unless you had some way of pre-fishing, and like I said, I had never been to that lake before. I was actually that tournament was the my very first tournament down south. So I'm looking forward to going again. I thought it was a really great experience. I didn't do as well as I'd hoped. Kind of towards the bottom of the middle of the pack. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. But like I said, good experience. I want to get back there again. I want to get back to regional again. Our regional, I think I'd have to double check, but I think our regional is going to be somewhere in Alabama. I'd have to check Major League Fishing. Actually, BFLs, you can actually start paying for tournaments next month. So kind of looking forward to getting that going, getting stuff ready. I'm hoping it's going to be a real short off season. Our first tournament is going to be more towards the end of April, which got on Major League Fishing. Give a chance to get a little warmer before we get out there. Hopefully this season will have lots of fish, lots of big fish. Like I said, I'm looking forward to hopefully making regional again. Got a lot to look forward to. That also includes the personal news I was mentioning. I actually have another new sponsor come on board with me here, Pulse Fish Lures, pulsefishlures.com. They actually have a lot of good swim bait jig heads. Personally, I see myself using them more kind of like a Ned presentation. The jig heads are really, I think they look really cool. They got a variety of colors. So like I said, do me a favor and check them out, pulsefishlures.com. So that's pretty much it, other than kind of just looking back on the season. Most of my tournaments, I really couldn't think of much else different to do. Definitely, I feel like I had some growth this season. Learned a little bit more about my style. What hasn't changed though is I still would prefer to be more of a power fisherman, and there's instances where maybe I could have went ahead and tried that more, but when you just get in your gut that power fishing isn't the way to go, and you need to finesse Senkos, which actually, believe it or not, I didn't use the Senko a ton this year. I did a lot more drop shotting and Ned rigging. Ned rigging, when the chips are down and it's tough conditions. I found, especially on that Mississippi River, that Ned rig works great. Definitely had some good success on that this season. One thing I learned too in one of my tournaments, don't necessarily let what your boater's catching them on, influence you. Yeah, I mean, try it. Give it a try. It's frustrating when he's catching fish after fish and you're doing as about the same thing as you can tell that you're not getting bites. You got to be doing something different. Okay, if you're just not getting bites, put that bait down and go back to something that you feel is going to work. And because like I said, it could be just the slightest little thing that you're doing different, whether it's even if it's just he's on a bait cast or using spinning gear on something. Just the slightest differences can make the difference. So that's just a quick overview of things. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe, like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get notifications when I put new videos up. My goal is to try to get to a point where I'm putting one up at least once a month. Once in a great while, I'll do a Coangler's Corner Extra, mostly on Facebook Live. But I will record that and try to get them on the channel as well. So, I do, kind of getting back to, I do want to thank Pulse Fish Lures and Titan Tungsten for both coming on with me this year. I really appreciate it. Look forward to continuing to partner with them in the future. And Fergal Books. Those guys have been great. Dave's a really great guy. I know, met some of the other owners as well. I would check them out, fergalmusebooks.com, or check out their store off of Odana Road. Great selection of books. Great people to partner with. They're going to give you great prices. So make sure you mention Coangler's Corner when you go to visit. So I will let you guys go. Wish you luck next season and go get them.